Really? Y'all serious? But ain't you been yelling bloody murder about that fucking box? And now you're telling us it don't scare you at all anymore? How'd that happen?
Well, when Miss Cheerilee put me in there, I first was terrified and began feeling claustrophobic pretty much immediately. I was actually on the brink of a nervous breakdown when I suddenly fell over because I was leaning too far back. I landed on my back and realized that half of me somehow landed outside of those box lines. And that's when it dawned on me. That fucking box is just 4 little lines on the ground. I wasn't actually trapped in there. I could have left any time. That made it easy for me to sit out the remaining 10 minutes, and after that, I just left the box. Didn't even need Miss Cheerilee to get me out of it. She hadn't come to get me anyway.
You know, hearing you say those words like you actually made some sort of grand discovery is pretty weird, I gotta say. Like, I understand this is all just to wrap up that recess reference from the last sketch, but still, you managed to say so much without actually saying anything at all.
Well, honestly, there ain't nothing new here. That's about the one talent Robota's actually got. Saying a lot. Oh, well, so much for recess. Let's get back inside, y'all.
Welcome back, dear students. I hope you had a lovely break. Now, I know every pony's excited because it's the last lesson before weekend, but I want to ask you to please focus for the remainder of this school day. Let us begin right where we left off. Like I was saying before, if we take a look at these 2 theoretical graphs, you can definitely see how having an Earth Pony King rather than a unicorn would have greatly benefited the Crystal Empire 1,000 years ago. Granted, compared to the tyrant that King Sombra was, even a normal unicorn would have been better. But let's not just look at the past here and apply what we've learned there over to the present. Right now, the Crystal Empire is under the rule of Princess Cadence, an alicorn, and her husband, who is a unicorn. Did we ever stop to question how that came to be? Who made that decision and who amongst the Crystal Ponies agreed to that? The way I see it, those 2 royals just walked up to that empire after it appeared again, stepped right into the throne room and proclaimed themselves their new rulers. Sure, they might have hid it under the guise of protecting them from Sombra, but after he was defeated, why didn't they allow an Earth Pony to climb the throne?
I guess because there ain't no Earth Ponies in the Crystal Empire. Ain't Crystal Ponies like a whole different race? And while we're at the topic, how do them ponies fit into everything you said up until now?
Well, quite honestly, that's a little splitting hairs, isn't it, Lil Philly? I don't see why we should differentiate between Crystal and Earth ponies just because of some minor difference like the shape of their eye reflections.
Maybe not, but how about their whole, shiny manes and fur, huh? If that's just a minor difference to you, then why ain't horns and wings?
Does any pony else have a real question they want answered? Because if not, I would like to continue our lesson. Without getting interrupted constantly.
Look, Miss Cheerilee, ain't my fault y'all didn't prepare for such an expectable question. But fine, if y'all don't want to answer that, I actually got another question for you. Not one of them body ones I usually ask, a real one. To do with unicorns and stuff.
All right, let's hear it then so we can move on from it. What is your question, Apple Bloom?
So, if I recall correctly, everything you're taught us, it's unicorns that are the oppressors of Equestria. The ones responsible for all the division in society.
Yes, that is correct.
I see. And what I'm wondering now is the following. Y'all spend a lot of time talking about all the ways unicorn oppression affects Earth ponies. But what about Pegasi?
What?
Pegasi. You know, the other pony race besides unicorns and Earth ponies. If unicorns are the only race that's suppressing ponies, surely Pegasi also gotta suffer from it. You maybe want to dive into that topic a little? How that oppression concerns Pegasi, and what they can do about it. I know Pegasi are a minority in this class, but don't you like helping those anyway to prove how much of a good pony you are? Well, here's a chance now.
Please. How silly. No one wants to hear that.
Actually, Miss Cheerilee, now that I heard it, I'm also curious. Just for one lesson, I'd really like to hear it.
Yeah, me too. And it would only be fair, all things considered. Please, that'd be exciting.
Come on, please.
See, Miss Cheerilee? Looks like the Pegasi in this class do feel like they're not being represented when you only talk about Earth pony problems.
I guess so, but you can't really, compare those things, you see? I admit, yeah, it's kind of similar, but Earth ponies just suffer way worse from it. I'm just one pony after all. I simply don't have the time or energy to give both their proper time and effort.
But you don't even need to. That's not what we're asking here. Just a short little change of topics, nothing more. After that, we can gladly go back to Earth ponies.
Yeah, well, Pegasus don't really have all that much they need to know, okay? There's a reason they don't suffer nearly as much from unicorn oppression as Earth ponies do, because they can simply fly away.
Well, I can't.
Jeez. Miss Cheerilee, were you just being ableist?
Nonsense. I didn't mean it like that, all right? It's just that Scootaloo is a single case, and as far as we know, the only one of its kind. Usually one could expect a Pegasus to be able to fly away. I mean, isn't it silly, really, to just take one single case and use that to draw conclusions about an entire race?
Sure. But why'd y'all do that with the dragons then?
What?
Well, after Spike attacked and tried to murder you. After recovering, you spend a whole lesson ranting about how all dragons are just brutes and bloodthirsty by nature and all that. And that conclusion you drew only from that one experience with Spike, who might I say is actually the complete opposite of a normal dragon.
I did not, you stupid filly. How about we think about what you're saying next time before just insulting me like that? Because I indeed did not only mean Spike there. I was also talking about, Garble. Yes, Garble and his friends in Season 2, remember? Oh, what you say they were acting all too civilized or nice there.
Good thing you also mentioned Season 2, because that means I don't gotta remind y'all of Garble's later character development and redemption.
All of this is totally missing the point. All I'm trying to do here is help you fools. Equestria's gonna eat you alive if you're not prepared for the adversity you'll be facing.
Well, that's exactly the reason I think it's only fair that the Pegasi here also learn a couple lessons to prepare 'em. Last lesson you told us that elf ponies can be anything they want to be. And right now, I want to be an elf pony who knows how Pegasi can fight that oppression. You are able to tell us something about Pegasi, ain't ya? I mean, a teacher as eager as you when it comes to unicorns surely also got something prepared for Pegasi in regard to that topic. Or not?
I don't have it with me.
I see. Well, ain't no problem now, Miss Cheerilee. I can help you with that. 'Cause, since y'all inspire me so much, I actually did a little research in my spare time and gathered some useful info concerning Pegasi. If you want it, you can use that.
No thanks, Applebloom. Knowing you, I think I can do without that pro-unicorn propaganda that's likely gonna be.
No, I mean it. What are y'all scared of now? That Pegasi actually get to learn something too? Or that elf ponies ain't gonna be the only victims then?
That does it, you ungrateful little shit. If you've got the material, then feel free to step up and do it yourself. You know what? I'm done. I am so fucking done with all your shit. Not just today. Every single fucking time I try to teach you, always getting disrupted by your constant questions and mockings. I've had enough of you, Applebloom, of all of you. I don't care what you do now. I don't give a shit anymore. You can all go fuck yourself for all I care. I'm out. See you next week. I hate you cutie macrosaders.
Gee, I get the feeling I might actually have did it this time.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, today she didn't just say that to Sweetie Belle, but to all of us. And her voice wasn't at all like that usual just matter-of-fact tone. I think there was actual deep resentment in there. Kinda unsettled me a little, if I'm honest.
Does that honestly surprise you? You could have stopped like 10 insults before it all escalated. But no, you woke up this morning and chose violence.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason I couldn't stop myself today.
And what do we do now? Is she actually just completely gone?
Think so. So I guess we might as well go home. What do you say?
I don't know. Hey, one question, Applebloom. Did you say that stuff about your teaching material for Pegasi only to taunt her? Or do you actually have that stuff with you?
What do you think, Scootaloo?
Actually, you'd be surprised at the amount of effort I put in to mark Miss Cheerilee and her wokeness. In fact, I do have that stuff with me. And even though it would have been most likely, it actually ain't just so-called propaganda, but instead some real interesting facts I found out during my research. You know what? Why don't I take Cheerilee's word for it? Alright, class, listen up. Substitute teacher Applebloom's taking over now. And you won't believe what I found out, but looking at Equestria's constitution, there's actually an interesting fact considering Pegasi and other ponies that differentiates them. You see, it's got something to do with the fact that the viewer won't get to hear anymore.